Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'm turning it over to Dr. Mack.
Well, if you will join me as we say a prayer as we come on the air. Dear Father, thank you for all the things that you have done for us and the things that you continue to do for us. Thank you for the many blessings that you give us and we fail to acknowledge it. But we were just thanking you for wisdom and patience, and we share that request to those who are us today. We not say things that are harsh or perceived to be harsh, but simply to spark an idea, the desire someone else, and to grow in your divine wisdom. These and the many blessings I ask in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Mack. Our topics now, we since I've had such a problem getting on here. So, everybody, we have had some technical difficulties today, but thank God we are here. And I'm trying to find those that I had. I guess I'll just have to go to the email and pull that up so that I can get that. Or do you have them before you, Dr. Matt?
No, I don't have that.
Okay, let me get to
Um,
the email then. Let me get to the email and get them because I have
okay, if, yeah,
them on my um,
okay.
in folder somewhere. Let me get to that. Go back to the email and just look in there, and then we'll go from there. So, everybody, it's a wonderful day. We're going to be at least 80 degrees today, and uh, we're going to enjoy it just like we enjoyed the cold days. I hope you were good. Evidently, you were because we're all here today. Thank God. So let me find that email. Find that email. Let me see here. Okay. Great topics today. And Dr. Mack, if you remember one of yours, would you please just go ahead and introduce
Yeah,
it, and then we'll
first,
start on that.
my, we, my first question was regarding naturalization. And it was a lead story yesterday in news because it was for several here's the people who were naturalized on that day. And my question was regarding why the administration chose a day for cities the naturalization ceremonies. Why did they choose that
Mm-hmm.
day to possibly say, well, they did say, in fact, that they want to redo the denaturalization process. Here we have a
Mm-hmm.
situation where we're going right back to, and it seems to be that our life is on repeat. They're going right back. President said that he wanted
Mm-hmm.
his administration to take a new look at what's required for naturalization. Now, the naturalization ceremony is not something that's new. And it's given to people who already hold a green, who have proven themselves to be free of any criminal activities, have passed the test on the government, who's aware of the laws, who would not be, once the naturalization process, once you take the oath of citizenship, then you go on and live your life. But what the administration is saying is, I want to take a deeper look at these people who get naturalized. And he refers to it as the Obama Biden situation. But naturalization was long before President Obama. This is another way, another quiet spoke on the wheel of immigration. believe that's what, it's all about. Even though for those two
Mm-hmm.
administrations, I dig a whole lot deeper because he's made sure that he would even denaturalize, well, it's hard to naturalize, but he would actually consider sending some of the born in the United States um, away to other countries if they did the standards that he has for them. And we're talking about U.S. citizens. Now, I can see he may be able to do
Mm-hmm.
those persons who've been here waiting for a long time, studying, and I know some who studied for years just passed that test. They wanted to hold their hand up and get that little American flag and consider themselves U.S. citizens. That's not the way I think it's going to go in the future. It's almost as if,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
that. It spurs something in his mind, and he opens his mouth. He says something that's totally negative to a positive event. So this is Somalians and Haitians and
Mm-hmm.
you know, as well as one of the news commentators said, it'll be if we don't speak up now. Sooner or later, you're going to get around to the ones who were born in
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. Pastor Shirley, Pastor Shirley,
Mm-hmm. It's
did you?
terrible. Yes, it's terrible the thing that's going on, but it's only going at yes. It is such a terrible, terrible thing. I'm here. Hopefully, let me see if I can be heard.
I
Let
can hear you.
Oh, okay. And so it's not going to last that much longer. This that's going on. It only has a little bit further to go, maybe, but we're going to have a great turnaround, and things are going to get better. And like it says, that things always get worse before they turn around and get better. And so that's where we are right now. But people can only go so far, and so I think the limit has been reached. And anything, when people have and they exercise their power and they think they're going to push and push and push and push and push and see as far, how far they can go, but then everybody and everything has a beginning and an ending. And so, if it's not a right beginning and it doesn't straighten out before it gets to the end, it's going to be a bad ending. And that's what people don't realize. And so, this denaturalization, somebody's going to get caught up in there that they're not going to be able to get out of there. They better be careful. What does that song say? You dig one ditch, you better dig two, because the trap you set for me just might be for you. And these
Yes,
people don't realize. And what is that we say? What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
it's
Hey,
good.
this stuff, this
Yes,
yes ma'am. So it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Yes, it's so bad. And so did you have anything else to say on that one?
I,
That
I'm cutting on my venting.
okay.
I'm cutting down on my venting. Um, just I just wanted to get to the attention of a person who are in the audience. I mean, we don't assume anything, but I don't think the announcement and actual date of the ceremony. I think it was
Oh.
designed to send a message. It did, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the ones who
Mm-hmm.
were actually there, but for the ones who are coming up or preparing for that naturalization
Mm-hmm.
ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's all what is it? There's a purpose for it. It was intended. And like you were saying that it seems like when
Yes.
something good comes along, it's intentional that they try to cloud it. And but that's the mass attention want is to cut in on something good that's happening. And so it's all coming to a head. I know I keep saying that and I believe it because throughout our years we've seen it happen over and over again that people can go
Yes. Yes.
so far. And then when they think they're rolling and steaming along, then suddenly it's over. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, oh yes.
And
And so I have one. Go ahead, please,
this is also
Dr. Mack.
related to the earlier uh, conversation regarding children who were born to these naturalized persons too, because the argument is coming up, are they citizens?
Mm-hmm.
Well, come on. If you start tracing it back, all part of the immigration movement. And my question is always, is this what they voted for when they talked about immigration? This kind of thing? That you could take away the citizenship that was granted? Or that we don't have birthright privileges here that are given in the Constitution? You know, as you say, it will come to an end soon.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Mack, you know what? Many people for what the person stands for. They really don't know what all of the what is the platform was all about. It's just that they heard a certain thing that they liked and they said, okay, I'm going to vote for this person, or yeah, I'm going to steal the election for this person because I like the way they're talking. But they didn't know that all of this was a hidden agenda. They didn't know
Right,
that.
right.
And now they're in it and can't escape it. Because somebody was saying, how in the world, knowing how that certain person feels about non-Caucasian people, the people from the south of the border, how is it that so many of those people they couldn't understand it? And I don't see it. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it because how can anybody be that naive and know what the person's intentions are and then vote for them? No. That's why I say they was taken with computers, and I believe it, and I'll continue to believe it. That's why the certain person was in there for 130 days. It was owed
And,
to him.
you
Okay.
know, we haven't answered the question of why so many came at the end of the Biden administration. We had that flood of people coming. You know, we've not there as far as I know. If the government did an inquiry, they did, but he's getting them out of here
Mhm.
one way or the other.
But they might try to blame it on President Biden, but it wasn't him. They've been coming in. It's just that they just the number, just like they're doing now. They're exaggerating the numbers just to get people in favor of them and to believe them. That's all it is. They're embellishing and they're making the numbers bigger than what they are. People have been coming in here for centuries. As a matter of fact, how did they get here? They're immigrants too.
Well, they,
You know, it's
yes, but they don't remember that.
no, they don't remember it, don't acknowledge it, but they came in, destroyed people, doing just like they're doing now, separating families, taking the children from the parents and all of that. But they don't understand. They don't want. They don't want to. I know this man used to say, "You don't hear that though, do you?" That's what he used to say. You don't hear that. They don't hear that.
But but they
Oh no, but it's a sad thing. Be aware because your door is on his way. While people are, you know, hey, it's going to touch some of those who are doing all this too. Okay, I want to go to some great, uh, what is a great stories, great information here about. This is Heritage Month for the African American race, and so I came across some information, and it is so good talking about Rosie Greer because for some reason I asked Alexa, I said, Alexa, where is Rosie Greer? And she said he is. Do you know that he is the oldest living former pro football player? He's 93 years old. He is the oldest living former pro football player. And he's still ministering, they said, and he's still doing different works. And he resides in Georgia. He was born in Georgia, and he's living in Georgia. That's where he went back home to, if he ever left. And they said he was born July 14th, 1932. And he is 93 years old. And I thought that would be great to share because I like Rosie Greer. Rosie Greer has done so many things, and he's played a part in so many things they call historical things. And one thing I read about him is that when President Kennedy was assassinated, Rosie Greer was guarding Ethel Kennedy. And I said, this is so much. So please, everyone, or if you desire, go and look up Rosie Greer because I know you will be interested. He played for two teams while he was in the NFL. So Rosie Greer, I wanted to share that because that is some great information for those of us who did not know. Okay. Where's one of your other
even
ones?
if
Oh,
we
Dr.
remember,
McGinn, talk.
I was going to say, even
Even
if
if
you
we
didn't remember um, his football career, which was fun, now was a phenomenal football player. You look at him and say,
mm-hmm,
94 years old and still moving, you know, it was just what your God given talent that was pushing you out there.
mm-hmm.
But the civil rights movement came around, he became, and you know, in his own, he didn't try to do something out of his lane, as a
Right.
friend of mine says. Stay in your lane, it drives me crazy.
Uh-huh.
But he did what he did. He used the strength that he had. Not only did is it associated with
Right.
Ethel Kennedy, but you remember when Robert Kennedy was assassinated, you know, as being
Mm-hmm.
in that crowd uh, since he was assassinated, and that had to do with the closeness of the closeness that he shared with the Kennedy family. But I love that
Mm-hmm.
he used natural,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just his presence allows people to look at it and know the Kennedy in a different way, you know. He's not
Mm-hmm.
out making speeches,
Mm-hmm.
but he's there on the stage. You influence in a silent way. And I'm so glad you mentioned him
Uh-huh.
because we'll think of him as the, and this
Yes.
gives us him as the political who never stopped working.
Mm. And he was really
Mhm.
he played a crucial role
And he was
in the O.J. Simpson part. When they would he had a crucial role in that, in talking to O.J. and serving as a religious advisor to him. So he has
I forgot
really,
about
really
that.
done some great.
I have. But yeah,
Yes, he played a
he,
crucial role in
he
that.
it's good to mention him and the fact that this is Black history, African American heritage, whatever you
Right.
want to call it. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we
This
now
is it.
go through the year. We want to let
Uh-huh.
people know about us through the year. I'm sure there won't be a celebration at
Uh-huh.
1600 Pennsylvania.
Oh well, we're good on that. The less they say, the better off they will
We
be.
won't be.
No, we will not. No, 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 no. And one of your other ones, Dr. Mack, if you can remember it, I'm at the email, so I'm trying to get it so I can. Uh, one of your other.
It has to do. I think in one dealt with the clean coal, the big beautiful clean coal. What do you call it? That he said, you know,
Okay. Okay.
get it for uh, uh, he advocated that the Pentagon should work with the coal industry to use it, to use the coal. Now, coal was sort of, and the question had to do with when, again, on this day, was there any thought given to say we had the word clean in that executive order? Did we do anything to stop black lung fever or anything to stop the use of drugs? But that's not an easy job, and we have proven health results that those persons working in the mines suffer from diseases and things like that. Now, the Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
Valley Authority for the Virginia, for the Kentucky, even out
Mm-hmm.
west where they do planning, they were on it because here Pentagon is going to be, especially I will not call it war, uh, the secretary, the defense people are excited about using it. We don't believe
Mm-hmm.
there's an this administration doesn't believe there's an energy crisis. So, hey, we just start back up the coal. My question was, I wonder how clean, I hope something has been done to people who will be working in that industry.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have seen that there's not any compassion coming from that. So it's all just, I get my desires, and everybody else can go sit on a stump out in the backyard if they want to. If they don't like it, well, okay. Mm-hmm. That's the attitude. That's what's happening. I'm going to do it my way. And I have the Congress, Senate, I have all of them to back me up, most of them. So, and the Supreme Court. So I'm going to do as much as
It's
I
not for
can while
them.
I can. Right?
And
Right?
and do you sense a monetary situation here? Again, it's a for profit situation. I know we're talking about the number of people who will be working. You're going to put them back to work. But come on, guys. When is the dollar worth your health and the health of your children? I don't know, Pastor
Hmm.
Shirley.
Well, when they're not directly involved and they're not in those coal mines and under the ground and all that cold and moist and black, breathing in all of that black dust, hey, just as long as you go down there and do what I say do, and I'm happy with the money that it's bringing in, hey, so be it. That's the attitude. It's something else, but that's the way. Hey, it's terrible, but it's coming. Like I said, it's coming to a head, and woe be unto them when it does, because people don't understand. And I talk, Mr. Magnite, Deacon Magnite. You might get by, but you won't get away, and I believe that is so true. There's a price that has to be paid. There are for our actions. There are rewards and consequences, depending on what side of the spectrum we're on. And I
I
that's
agree.
what I can say. That's what I can say because I'm concerned and I pray, and if prayer doesn't reach it, if God doesn't do anything about it, there's nothing we can do. But He is doing something about it. But just because it seems like it's working slow, it doesn't mean that He's slack. And so I want people to remember that a change is going to come. What did Sam Cooke say? A change is
Yes,
going to
a
come.
change.
So be
Mm.
ready for the change. The change for the better is coming. So be ready for the change. And I am, but in the meantime, live your life. Live your life to the fullest. Don't let all of this, you do the best you can. And that was my topic yesterday. Do the best you can, when you can, while you can, and no apologies. Live. Don't stop living because people have decided that they want to be the Almighty and they want to run everything. And it's not going to last forever. So I know things bother and trouble us, and we can be concerned, but in the meantime, continue to live your life in a positive and productive way. That's all we can do. If we stop living because all of this is going on, we're not hurting anybody but ourselves. So be encouraged no matter what's going on. He will make it all right. You've got to stay strong. And when I say He, to those who might not understand the He, I'm not talking about any natural person. I'm talking about the true and the living God. I believe that with all my heart. I've witnessed it too many times, not too many, but many times in my life. And He fixed all those things, and He will fix this too. You just have to hang on in there. Be steadfast, unmovable. All right. So we talked about the cold, right? The cold. Now,
Yes,
anything you
it,
want to say else on that?
oh no, you said he. In fact, I can hear the song. He'll make it all right. You know,
Yeah.
the choir
Yes, ma'am.
song that they sing. I know they
Oh,
would all
yes.
sing. He will
Make
make
it
it
all
all
right.
right.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And there's some other things that are happening also. I like to ask and inquire about the good things that are going on in the world because, in spite of all of this that's magnified, there is more good going on than all of this stuff that we hear. But negativity sells, so it pays the bills for these networks. these through commercials and all of that. So negativity sells. But according to new at newatlas.com, scientists have discovered a protein that can rejuvenate aging brain cells. And I said, oh, they're coming along. And then there's also research that shows that aloe vera compounds may help fight Alzheimer's. And we know aloe vera is a healer also. And said the
Healing plant.
herbs of the field, they're that
Yeah.
healing, yes. And yes. And so there are good things happening out here for us. There's so many research centers out here that we have no inkling. We don't know the names of them, but there are hundreds of thousands out there that are researching and working on cures for different things. And so, as I mentioned in the last webcast, there is so much progress on different kinds of cancer. So
Yes.
much progress. We don't hear it every day, but they are making progress. And I am so thankful for that. So I wanted to add that. And Dr. Mack, I'm still trying to get this email so that I can get those questions
Okay.
again. I'm on the email and it won't bring up the question. It won't bring them. And I had
Well,
that on
one of
my.
the question,
Okay.
one of the other questions dealt the governor's race here in Texas, and we have three people running,
Uh huh.
and I just basically wanted to share that. And the question that I'll ask at the end is one of your opinions. It doesn't. It's okay. We have Governor Abbott,
Okay.
who's ahead right now, and these are based on the University of Houston Hobby Law School, and that they show leading. He is a Republican. We have Gina Hinojosa, who is behind him. She is the, and you don't see a lot of
Mm-hmm.
commercials for her into the race a few months ago, basically, and she's trailing him, and we have 47%, and we have a Tyrion, and that surprised me. You know, I'm used to seeing on the ballot libertarians and writing in spaces, but
Mm-hmm.
this guy's name is Dixon. I think it's Pat Dixon, and he has 3% according to taken. My question and my
Okay.
rumination had to do with we believe that Governor Abbott can in any way lose this election, and if so, how? Do you think that he can
Hmm.
lose this election? I know he's ahead, but yeah, I'm not saying I don't know a lot about Gina Hinojosa. I don't. I do realize
Mm-hmm.
that she is a politician, and she's been there for a while. But as far and to mention that earlier, as far as I'm and I should know, right? She's a but again, it's an interesting quandary. What do you think he can lose this election? Because he's adopted the model that is current that comes from DC. And do you think that's what
Mm-hmm.
works here in Texas? Is there something else? But his legacy basically is tied to um, the forthcoming election.
Well, I saw something on one of the outlets. It was on one of my devices. It said that he could lose. I saw that. And
Really?
I
Really?
believe that he can lose. I believe that he can. Now whether he will or not, we know they have some great computer people out there that can twist and turn things the way they want to, just like they did in 2024. So, but he can lose. I believe he can lose. I believe he can.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Good things happen in the state, but I always say when they do, good things are going to happen, as you just said, in the state. You're going to keep getting the,
Hmm.
the Texas had more job growth than
Hmm.
anybody. Texas is doing more with earth minerals and etc. than anyone. I mean, these things are going to happen, but and
Hmm.
we know that the lead that's given to him. He will be remembered for redistricting bill that changed the
Restricting.
complexion of the election. That's part of his legacy too. Yeah, I think he
Hmm.
could do. I can't think of what needs to happen other road, but in a Hosa, people don't. If they don't know what in a Hosa stands for, they sure Dixon stands for as a libertarian, except for their fundamental
Yeah.
beliefs. So this
And the
is what
simplest thing to
definitely.
Yes, the simplest thing everybody can do is just go to the Texas governor's race, Texas governor's candidates, and those people will come up. But yeah, he can lose, and he's going to
Oh yeah,
be known for the redistricting, and what is going to be known for concerning the redistricting is that he set off a firestorm which caused everything to
yes,
turn the other way.
and
He paved the way
absolutely.
for that. It
But
might
we
not
have,
be what he likes.
and
Said,
look, well, it
what'd you
didn't
say,
stop
Dr.
her.
Matt?
It's happening. I'm saying it was just let's think of him as a pioneer, a founder, because it's happening, and it has happened, and it is happening in other states. So that's part of his
That's right.
legacy.
Yes, and his legacy is that he turned everything around
Yes, he
because
did.
it's going to be a different story in the next election. A different story. Oh, yes. Those are good. Great, Dr. Matt. Okay. Now, talking about our month, and they call it Black History Month. They call it African American History Month. I call it African American Heritage Month. But it was first celebrated, and for those of who might not have researched it or anything, but first celebrated in 1926 as Negro History Week. And I remember when they used to call it that, didn't they? They used to call it that by
Oh,
historian Carter
that,
G. Woodson.
that's right.
And the month was called Negro History Month, wasn't it?
It went from Negro History
Instead
Week
of
to Negro History
History
Month.
Month, right?
It,
And then to Black
yeah,
history, and then to African American history, and so
and
and heritage. So the
Heritage
month was it was
Month.
uh-huh first celebrated in 1926, and
Mhm.
by historian Carter G. Woodson. So the month was
Yeah.
chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln, which is February 12th, and Frederick Douglass, February the 14th. And then in 1976, President Gerald Ford expanded this observance to a full month, recognizing the significant contributions of African Americans to society. And that's in Encyclopedia Britannica. So, do you have any comments or observations, any others? Because I know uh, y'all went thoroughly through that every year in school, didn't you?
Hey, that's true. All the way through. And my high school was after Carter G. Woodson High School. So those basic facts that, as a freshman, you were given that kind of orientation. I think it's important. And I have no problems with groups celebrating, and they do throughout, or they have in the past. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future. But I have no problems with that. I think it's just let's stop and get that heritage. I need to know that there
Mm-hmm.
were
Mm-hmm.
black peas from Africa and connect. Well, during Black History Month, we tend to eat a lot of the food historical in nature. You know, we sing
Mm-hmm.
the songs. The church music originally was a stomping kind of thing because no instruments, and then the instruments
Mm-hmm.
came in, and look what has happened. The whole face
Mm-hmm.
of it. Just the church.
Mm-hmm.
There were churches, and when they had brush arbors and things like that, and come so many things that we have,
Mm-hmm.
many things, and so many people. The influence of the church. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about Frederick Douglass, one of the great orators of our time. When you read the autobiography of Frederick
Mm-hmm.
Douglass, you laugh in some spots and others. I mean, you want to know who Black Moses was, Tubman. You want to know who Mahalia Jackson was. You want to know she wasn't part of the Jackson Five. She was great, a
Right.
great singer in her own right. If you don't know those great things from the past, how can you
Right.
look to the future and how can you tolerate the present? So I think it's important that even the
Oh,
youngest and that the community, I mean, you need to know something. I mean, they know Martin Luther King. But before Martin Luther, well, there wouldn't have been a Martin Luther King if there hadn't been a Rosa Parks. There wouldn't have been a Rosa Parks. You see what I'm saying? If we hadn't had those awful laws in the come on, there wouldn't have been a petty situation, you know, and there never would have been freedom rides. See, there's so many young ones who don't know what freedom rides are because you don't have to deal with it. But as
right.
Harris said when she was running during her campaign, we ain't going back. Been there. So we stand on that. But we ain't, and our word ain't on purpose, we ain't going
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Barbara, sorry.
Nope. And no matter how hard they try, they cannot push us back.
Right,
We are resilient
right.
people. We know. And speaking of they, whoever they are to uh, bring us back, take us back to the past and try to take our liberties away from us and all of that, they will not succeed. We are resilient people. We have survived so much, and we have led this nation and the world in survival. Even the food that the people eat
Yeah.
now, they're out of the food that we used to eat that they would throw away, and we would take it and make great meals out of it. Now it's a delicacy. They have priced us out of
Absolutely.
chitlins. We say chitlins. We know they're chitterlings, but what hog maws, cow tripes, and all that kind of stuff. They priced us out of their brains, tongue,
Oh,
and
oh,
all of
yeah.
that. Pig ears, pig feet, all of that. They have priced us out. That's
Yeah.
a delicacy now. It certainly is. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
yeah.
So we are leaders in this world, and I am so thankful. I am so thankful. Every race, every ethnicity has their part in this world, and that's the way God intended for it to be. So one cannot work smoothly without the other. We have to
Move
have
without
each
the other.
other. Yes, ma'am. We have to have each other.
I,
Oh, yes, we
I,
do.
it, it's a reciprocal relationship that we have. And there was a time that the focus was on working together. It was not on separating. It was not on labeling things DEI. It one, as you said, one needed the other in order to survive. It wasn't crabs in the bucket,
Mhm.
you know.
Uh-huh.
One of the dog whistles that we hear now is that I have to, not I, but those persons to make us look really bad so they can look even those persons who reinterpret the founding documents of the United States in the way that makes them look superior. We world domination is not ours to have. Um, but if we work side by side and across the aisle, as the politicians like to call it, get a lot more accomplished
Mhm.
than, down in one in order to lift the other, that we can't all go
Mhm.
up together.
Mhm. Well, you know what? They might think that they're keeping certain people down, but that's just the way they see it. But we don't see it like that. Still, we
Right.
rise. So they
Yes.
see it and interpret it the way they want to interpret it, but that doesn't mean that what they're interpreting is truly happening because it definitely is not. We can see it each and every day. The harder they push, the sprier and the higher we go. That's anybody, any ethnic group that's trying to be pushed down and pushed out of the way by another certain ethnic group, still we rise. That's why they're working so hard, but they will never, ever, ever succeed. And for real, I'm going to say this: be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man, woman soweth, that shall they also reap. And I believe
He
with things, but they're definitely not. There are things always work out opposed to. They do. And so even though it seems rough and tough, but we've been through rougher and tougher times than this. Oh yes. All right. Was it that was one of the ones I had out there, huh? Dr. Mack, could you think of another one? Because I cannot get this to pull up the information you sent me. I can't get it to pull up.
this was my last one. That's okay. This was my
Hmm.
last one. This weekend is Valentine's Day, and
Okay.
um, it's one of those supposedly happy days. We have the colors, the red and the white, and if we go back and we'll understand originally a pagan festival, and later it was brought into Christianity, you know, and it had to do with the Christians in Rome and all of that, and then it became commercialized. What day to someone who is not happy mood or going out to dinner mood or buying the chocolates mood, what do you say? Because we have to be, as people, we need to remember that everyone's not on the same page, not on
Exactly.
this wavelength. We don't want anyone depressed or anyone, because I'm not going to sing, um, or I'm not receiving flowers. We don't want them to feel that you're not worthy. I'm going to let you respond to
Right.
that.
Okay. My thing is from experience, I will buy my own chocolate. And if I want some flowers, I'll pick some or go and get my get my own. But that's the way I do it. You can make things happen for yourself. I know that there are many people they want the women want the men, they want a companion, somebody, many of them. They want somebody to send them flowers, bring them flowers, take them out to dinner on Valentine's Day, and do different things because that's what culture tells us it's all about. But hey, if you do like
It
me,
is.
and I will probably get me some chocolate tomorrow and eat me a little bit of chocolate. I do it for myself. Make yourself happy, make yourself content. Do the best thing for you. I know many people are sad. They have broken relationships. Many things have happened, and these holidays, these that come around, they remind us of so many those that are not living here anymore, those who have gone on into eternity, that did these things for them. There's so many reasons for people not to be happy, and I totally understand it. And I would not mock that or in any kind of way. But me, as I'm a thriver, I do what makes me feel good. And if I buy my own little dollar box of chocolates, they probably cost more than $1 now. You know, you can get that little heart
I don't
uh,
think it's
thing.
about. Yeah, I know, but you're not
You
going
say,
to
what did you
find
say? That
it.
not
I
for a
don't think you're
dollar
going to find
anymore.
a dollar box. You're going to have to go up. You're going to
Hey,
have
I'll
to
have to
go
go on
up.
up to Family Dollar and see. Yeah, they probably went up, but those I would buy me one of those little boxes of chocolates, and I would eat my
Yeah.
chocolate and whatever I want. I know, Doctor. And I would, if I want a special meal or something, hey, by the grace of God,
Hey,
I do it, and I just go on and enjoy my day and my life. Yes. And what about you, Doctor Mac?
well, I'm not really into the commercialism. There was when my mate was here, he
Mhm.
was into the commercialism, and
Uh,
but what I like to do with Valentine's Day, and for those who are sitting going, "What me?" Don't do it. Let's go back and look at
right.
the name. The name comes from Saint Valentinus, who was a Christian, and he was involved in getting the Christians married just because they had no ring. So it's the blood on the paper, the red and white. I want you to remember
Mhm.
the compassionate origins and not the pagan festival where animals were
All right.
sacrificed and names were pulled out of a jar. A man's name, a woman's name was pulled out of a jar, and that was a matchmaking.
Mhm.
Thank God I didn't live in those days. I would have had a
Woo.
hard time. But I'm also saying, I want you to remember other love. You know, the one that sits high and looks low and takes care of us. You know, look at that spirit, not the compassionate commercial love. And if you have the compassionate love, say
Right.
thank God. It was a gift. I'm thankful
Yes.
having
Right.
experienced it. But yeah, as you say, I am thankful to be here, and I will celebrate way. And
In
I
your
will try to
own way.
make anyone
That's it.
feeling good about themselves. I'll try and lift their spirits. But you know, God's got
Right.
you. God's got you.
That's
He
right.
loves you.
That's so true.
And that
Oh,
is for
oh,
me
yes, he
today.
does. He did what?
That's it for me today.
Okay.
Leave on a
So,
happy
hey,
note.
all right. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for being here with us and being patient with us because of our technical difficulties, but
Yeah.
we don't fret it. We don't get frustrated over it because we know that these things happen. And we thank you for your patience. Thank you for being with us. And we ask that you would share our webcast. And we love you so much. And remember, join me tomorrow, God willing, on Saturday at 7:39 p.m. and on Sunday at 7 a.m. Dr. Matt,
All right. Well, may the Lord bless and keep
your
each of
announcement.
us as we go. And I, oh, well, don't forget to join us next week. I'm sure the topics. And don't forget the webcast from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack, Wednesdays at 1. And we are in the book of Ecclesiastes. Wisdom isn't everything, not everything. All men and women have to die.
All right.
Thank you for letting us share.
All right.
Thank you, Pastor Shirley.
All right. We love you, everybody. All right. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody, whatever day you want to call it. Just make sure that you take care of number one. And when you take care of number one, you'll be able to share that care with all the ones that you're blessed to share it with. We love you. God willing, we'll see you, or you'll see us.